just because you and I have never talked about this, and obviously I've read articles about it. I can't let you go without asking about your injury, and I don't want to get into sort of the gruesomeness of it, but I'm very curious just about the recovery process, the mental toll. And I was thinking about any injury I never had major injuries, but any injury I came back to is like really about just making small goals. Whether it was like a 3-week hamstring injury or a 6-month back injury, it was just about making small goals. But when you're coming back from something like that, the approach and to your credit, you got hurt in August and you were playing by the end of the following season. Your approach to get back on the court, the taxing sort of mental side of that. What was that?
Man, when people say give it your all, I gave it literally my all. When it happened, first it was just so much emotion involved because I'm at the height of my career. I got a chance to play for my country. Just, you know, finished playing against Braun. We took them to a tough, I think, 6 games. And I felt like one more year. And I truly felt like it was my time. One more year. We figured them out. I'm going to get better. I'm coming back with a ton of confidence from playing with the Olympic team. Like I really felt good about where I was at leading up to it. Then I get hurt, and then just the emotions of like not of the unknown. Like, will I ever play again? Will I be the same again? Like, will this team be the same team I'm coming back to? It was just a lot that was going on. But the rehab and recovery road was brutal, man. Like I remember like the first like once you get past the point of the injury and being hospitalized. I was hospitalized for like a week before I took off from Vegas. I was in Vegas in the hospital for about a week before I went to Indiana. And once I got to Indy, that's when it kind of settled in that like damn, this is gonna be hard. This is gonna be rough. And I just remember, man, like some days I was just like don't like I just wanted to be shut off from the world. Like nobody reach out to me, nobody talk to me, nobody message me. Like I don't want to do treatment. I don't want to rehab. Like I remember telling the trainer some days, like, man, like just leave me alone. Like let this thing heal. And when it heals, then we can start rehabbing. Like that's just it was the pain that I was going through that, I've never been hurt or injured in my career up to this point. So it was just new to me. Um, and like I literally just had to tackle every day, like, and I would check out because it just became like it every day like was the same day. It was just tedious work, like literally doing the same thing for a month, same schedule, same time I had to be in, like same workouts I was doing, same treatment I was doing. And it just became like I was a robot. Like, I was just checking out. Like it just became boring doing this stuff. But, shout out to Indy. The trainers were phenomenal. They kept me like on a straight path. But there was days I wanted to give up. There was definitely days I wanted to give up. I just, my family gave me the support to keep going, and that was enough that I needed. But it was tough, man. It was one of the hardest things I ever went through in my life.
The monotony of rehab from any injury and a prolonged recovery process. Yeah, that's I, the I think you're sort of referencing boredom, and I think that's when you're talking about checking out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's that component, but there's also the component of just not being able to play. And I think for anybody who loves to play, that's the thing. So you're on one side, you're not sort of getting the fulfillment and the enjoyment of playing because that's not an option. But then there's like, I don't know if it's guilt or anger, but it's like the anger of not being able to do it, of missing out. and then having to do that for weeks, months, in your case, a very long, whatever it was, 8 months, 9 months to get back. Yeah, I can't imagine going through that every day.
Yeah, and I felt the pain for the guys that were in Indy. Like, it wasn't even about me anymore. I felt like the life was sucked out of Indiana when the guys were getting ready for training camp. It was almost like what are we doing this for? Like, why are we here? The life literally looked like the life was literally drained from that team. And I just felt bad for those guys, like what we built, what we went through. And now, and that was the end of the era. Like, when I came back that season, D West was gone. Roy Hibbert was gone. Lance was gone. Like, that was an end of an era after that injury. And so it was tough, man. It was tough to watch those guys go through it that year and really have, there was no end goal that season. There was no chance of making playoffs. There was no chance of going further. Like, D West was on his last, this is his last stint before he went to Golden State to go win one. But that was his last, he was on his last years. And for me, being a young guy that, respected D West, I wanted to give him as many chances that I could of getting deep in the playoffs and possibly winning it. So it was tough. It was tough to just watch the whole team just, the life just get sucked out of them because of my injury.
We hope you had fun with us today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button.